Alright guys, hey, everything new under the sun. This is an article from Zero Hedge. And didn't I just do a video about this, about microchipping people? And this is a slippery slope, and of course the liberal lefties say, oh no, it's not a slippery slope, you know, we'll just end it at mentally ill people, we'll end it at terminally ill people, we'll end it at old people. Like I did a video about old people in China who are basically being microchipped so they don't lose them. So now we've got mentally disabled people, we've got terminally ill people, we've got old people, we've got babies being microchipped almost by their parents now to keep track of them. And who's next indeed is the question of this one. Zero Hedge article, House passes bill to microchip citizens with mental disabilities. Who's next, it says. And what is the definition of mental disability, I might ask? Is everybody who puts out fake news as determined by the government of the U.S., are all those mentally disabled? Do people who believe in biblical young earth creation, are they mentally disabled? I bet you there's a lot of people who would call them that. And so it all comes down to the definition of these things. Now that they're putting laws into place to microchip people with all these various issues, and it's going to increase, there's going to be more and more things that they want to say is eligible for microchipping. Who's defining what this is? And it's going to get narrow and narrower until everybody has a microchip. And Revelation 13 says everybody's going to have a mark in their right hand or their forehead. And no man can buy or sell save he that has a mark. This mark is probably a cryptocurrency and a microchip of some sort to prevent you from buying and selling. So now they'll be able to know who's mentally disabled and elderly and terminally ill, so they can prevent those people from doing business if they find that the business they're doing is not good. We've all been warned that it is coming, but SHTFplan.com, Max Salvo notes, what is disturbing is that while technology surrounds us and some have concerns about privacy, most shrug off at the massive amounts of data they are collecting about our lives and the incredible level of control the system has now over every individual. Most shrug off, you know, what does Facebook know about me? And most people will just write it off as, well, there's nothing I can do about it, you know, nothing's happened bad so far, so I'm just going to keep going, letting them collect data. I'm not going to put up a big stink about it or riot in the streets about it, because A, I like it, and B, you know, it's been happening for the last 10 years and no one can do anything about it. This bill passed clinging to the broadest base of good intentions that it could muster, caring for those disabilities and decline with age. So all these things are going to bring in the cashless society, the microchip, the mark of the beast. It's all going to be for good reasons. They're all going to woo us in and say, you know, these are the excellent reasons why we're doing this, and this is going to help everybody, and this is going to lower costs, and this is going to make everybody safer. But ultimately, the Bible says the one world government is going to use it against us, and that's what happens with every technology. Just like the splitting of the atom. Yes, it was meant for good, for nuclear technology, for electricity production. And yes, it was used for bad in nuclear weapons. So yeah, it's going to be used for bad. There's no doubt about it. Anyone who doesn't believe that is naive. But in reality, it is a nose under the tent for a system that needs the ability to microchip dissenters. Yes, he's absolutely true. The one world government is going to want to know who's dissenting. And to force cooperation on the part of the general population. In effect, everyone is now under their thumb with this, because anyone could go along with the mass conditioning. With the mass conditioning will be labeled mentally something and branded with a track and control chip. Game over. At the first sign of suspicious behavior, fake news writers, YouTubers as an example, or young earth creationists, that's suspicious. You know, they don't go along with science apparently, although science and young earth creation is actually very scientific, and evolution is the antithesis of science. At the first sign of suspicious behavior or troubling social media profile, or a misunderstanding during an encounter, police and medical personnel, among others, will have the authority to declare someone mentally disabled. So now it's up to just, you know, a policeman, and if he has different beliefs than I have, he could consider me mentally disabled. or incapacitated or temporarily insane. Isn't that an interesting one? Or unsound of mind. Are Christians unsound of mind? A lot of atheists would like to suggest that. Just because they express discontent, anger, outrage at the state. Oops, let me go back into reader mode here. Anger at the state and political affairs. Fake news journalists can be shut down. That's what I was saying. And conspiracy-minded individuals controlled. And of course, it will be abused. The tactics used against parents by CPS will be forged together with the creepy total surveillance of fusion centers, potentially a very nasty police state. This power will expand and try again if it's slowed down or rejected. Absolutely. This is an example. It is moving here, guys. If you have your head in the sand about this, it's your own fault. The Bible says this is going to happen. There's nothing we can do about it. Ultimately, we may be able to push it off, but ultimately there's nothing we can do about it. The one world government, the Antichrist, will use this technology to control all people of the world. So yes, this is coming. Yes, it's a slippery slope. No, ultimately, we can't do anything about it. The Bible says it's going to happen. And what else can I say? I will leave it there, guys. We are truly in the end times, and the government is quickly putting laws into place to control us, to control our buying and selling, and it's coming down the pipe. Those people who are terminally ill and mentally disabled now are going to be those people who simply disagree with the government very shortly, disagree with whomever is in power, who dares to put out fake news, which is the truth in a lot of circumstances. Yes, there's fake news out there, but a lot of other organizations are putting out real truth news, and the government people don't want that. The liberals don't want the truth to come out. For example, truth about homosexuality, truth about all the stuff that the Bible says, that God says is sinful. We are a sinful people, but the liberals and the lefties would come out and say, no, that's bigotry. That's you're putting people down. That's hate speech. Well, Christians are very, very soon going to be considered bigots. Well, they're already considered bigots and considered that they put out hate speech if they say anything, if they repeat anything the Bible says. And so they're going to be microchipped, because people are going to want to track the hate speechers. They're going to start labeling hate speechers terrorists, and they're going to want to track terrorists. And this is coming. You can see the progression here. I could go on. I will leave it there. Put the article in the description. Read it. Share this one around. This is coming. I'm excited about this, not in a good way. This is getting so close. So close.